Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're really getting into the incredible story of Lionel Messi, using a really detailed account of his life as our guide.
Yeah, it's a story that goes way beyond just football, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, there are so many insights here about talent, about sheer grit, really.
Absolutely. Even if you're not a huge football fan, there's something universal here.
Definitely. Whether you're looking for, inspiration or you're just fascinated by how someone becomes this global icon.
Or you just love a great story.
Exactly. This look at Messi's life, it really does have some surprising turns and moments you won't forget.
So our plan today is to dig deep, pull out the really compelling stuff, and understand his journey, his rise, and, the impact he's had. Let's start right at the beginning. Rosario.
Okay. Rosario, Argentina, June 24th, 1987. Lionel Messi is born into a pretty standard working-class family.
Right. His dad, Jorge, worked in a steel factory, and his mom, Celia, cleaned houses.
Yeah, the narrative describes it as, a loving home, definitely. But things weren't always easy financially. He was the third of 4 kids.
And the football thing started early, didn't it? Like, really early.
Oh, yeah, from about age 5. The story goes he played anywhere he could. It wasn't just a hobby. It was almost like breathing for him.
It's interesting. He's described as small, quiet, maybe even a bit shy as a kid.
Right. But put a ball at his feet. Complete transformation. Like a different person.
That immediate connection is fascinating. It wasn't something he learned slowly. It was just there.
Kind of innate, yeah.
Hmm.
And that led him to his first club, Grandoli. Still only 5 years old. And that was mainly thanks to his grandmother, Celia.
Ah, Celia, such a key figure.
Absolutely pivotal. She was the one, apparently, who basically told the coach, put him in, let him play, even though he was tiny.
The coach wasn't keen at first because of his size?
Understandably, yeah. But Celia, she persisted, and, well, she was right.
Clearly. Even then he was doing things. Dribbling past older kids, scoring goals. It was obvious.
Totally. And Messi himself said later, everything I am, I owe to my grandmother. That tells you everything.
And tragically, she passed away when he was 11.
Yeah, which makes his goal celebration, pointing to the sky even more poignant. It's this constant tribute to her.
Such a powerful image. So from Grandoli, he moves to Newell's Old Boys.
That's right. Joined their youth team. They called them the Machine of 87.
Because they were all born in 1987.
Exactly. And they were, like, unbeatable in youth football.
Yeah.
Messi was clearly the standout star, even in that talented group.
But then came a major setback, around age 10.
Yeah, this is a huge turning point. He just wasn't growing like the other kids. His family got worried, understandably.
Yeah. And that led to the diagnosis, growth hormone deficiency.
Precisely. His body wasn't making enough of the hormone he needed to grow properly. Without treatment, it could have really limited his future, certainly in football.
And the treatment was expensive?
Incredibly so. About $1,000 a month, which was a fortune for them.
Wow. So Jorge, his dad, started looking for help.
He did. Knocked on doors, local clubs, even Newell's. Got bits of help here and there, but nothing consistent enough to cover the full cost.
Newell's didn't step up fully, despite having this huge talent.
They made promises, apparently, but ultimately didn't deliver the sustained support needed. It must have felt like his dream was just slipping away because of biology and money. A really tough situation. You have this unbelievable talent, but this physical, financial roadblock.
Which is where FC Barcelona comes into the picture. A scout saw a video.
Yeah, just a video. But the scout's reaction was immediate. Something like, this kid is different. We have to get him to Spain.
That conviction just from a video clip.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It really speaks to how obvious his talent was. So that set up the big trip for Jorge and Lionel to Barcelona for a trial.
Must have been incredibly nerve-wracking. Young kid, new country, everything on the line.
Totally. But on the pitch, the nerves seemed to disappear. He impressed everyone in those training sessions.
But the club directors were hesitant because of the health issue and it being late in the season.
There was some uncertainty, yeah. Committing resources felt like a risk. No formal contract was appearing, and Jorge was getting anxious.
And this leads to the legendary napkin story.
Yes. One of the most famous stories in football. They're at lunch. Jorge, Carlos Rexach from Barca, another way. Jorge is pushing for commitment.
Understandably.
And Rexach, maybe a bit impulsively, grabs a napkin and literally writes out a promise.
On a napkin. Seriously.
Seriously. Something like, "We, FC Barcelona, promised to sign Lionel Messi and pay for his treatment." Signed it right there.
That's incredible. A life-changing agreement on a piece of tissue paper. It just shows Rexach's belief.
Absolutely. That napkin basically sealed the deal. Family moved to Spain. Lionel joined La Masia, the famous academy, and started his treatment.
And he started growing.
Slowly but surely. It wasn't easy at first, though. New country, language, missing his mom who stayed in Argentina initially.
But the football was constant.
The football was his escape, his language. On the pitch, he was free, fearless. Barcelona started to feel like home.
So let's talk about La Masia. He's there, getting treatment, adapting. What was that like at 13?
Think about it. 13 years old, whole new world, different food, culture, everything.
Yeah.
But football was the anchor.
And La Masia wasn't just about football practice.
No, not at all. It was a school, a place to live, a whole support system, packed with talent from all over. The level was sky high.
And Messi, still quiet off the pitch.
Very much so, apparently. But on the pitch, pure magic. That control, the vision, the speed, that left foot. It stood out immediately.
It's that consistent contrast, quiet guy, explosive player.
Yeah, like all his energy just flowed through the ball. And his progress was, well, ridiculously fast.
Just dominated every youth level, U14s, U16s, U18s.
Pretty much. And interestingly, his size, which was the initial worry, became an asset. That low center of gravity, the balance, quick turns, made him incredibly hard to tackle.
And then at 16, he starts training with the first team.
Yeah, suddenly he's on the same pitch as Ronaldinho, Xavi, Iniesta. Legends.
Imagine that. What did they make of him?
They saw it straight away. Ronaldinho famously said something like, "This kid will be better than me."
Wow. High praise from Ronnie at his peak.
Incredible insight, really. Shows you the level Messi was already hinting at.
His first senior game was a friendly, wasn't it? Against Porto.
November 2003. He was 16. Just glimpses, but you could see the potential bubbling up.
Then the official league debut came a bit later.
October 2004, against Espanyol. Youngest ever Barca player in the league at that point. Another milestone.
But the real arrival moment, the one everyone remembers, is that first official goal.
Ah, yes. May 1st, 2005, against Albacete. That goal was pure Messi. Even then.
The Ronaldinho assist.
Perfect little floated pass.
And the chip. The delicate little chip over the keeper.
Beautiful. The crowd went wild. You just knew you were seeing the start of something huge. He was only 17 years, 10 months old. Youngest scorer record broken.
And from there, his development just seemed to skyrocket. Getting stronger, smarter.
More confident, definitely. He had injuries, sure. But always came back, always seemed to add something new to his game. He was constantly learning.
2006 was big too, wasn't it? First taste of the Champions League. First World Cup with Argentina.
Yeah, youngest player for Argentina at that World Cup.
Yeah.
Suddenly the whole world is watching this kid.
Then comes Pep Guardiola, tiki-taka, a whole new era for Barca. How did Messi fit into that?
Fit in. He was the system in many ways.
Yeah.
Guardiola built it around him. That false nine role was genius.
Explain that a bit. the false nine.
Well, instead of being a traditional striker staying high up,
Yeah.
Messi would drop deep, pull defenders out of position, link up play, and then explode into space. Made him almost impossible to mark.
And it worked. That period, 2008 to 2012, just unstoppable.
Unbelievable. Scoring, assisting, winning games almost by himself sometimes. The treble in 2008-09, La Liga, Copa del Rey, Champions League. Just dominant.
He scored in that final, didn't he? Against Man United.
Yeah, a header, which was rare for him then. Showed how he was developing all aspects of his game. Top scorer in the Champions League that year, too.
And then, 2009, his first Ballon d'Or at 21.
Yeah, officially the best player in the world. The journey from Rosario, the growth hormones, the napkin, culminating in that. Just incredible.
But it wasn't the end point, was it? More like the beginning of true global dominance.
Absolutely. He solidified his place among the all-time greats in the years that followed.
That 2011-12 season stands out. The numbers are just insane.
73 goals in all competitions.
Yeah.
Broke Gerd Muller's European record, which people thought would never be beaten. It got to the point where you just expected magic every single time he touched the ball.
The control, the balance, the vision, scoring from impossible angles.
It was just relentless brilliance. Pure footballing art week after week.
And then, 2012, he breaks Muller's calendar year record.
91 goals in 12 months. 91, that record.
Yeah.
It's hard to see anyone ever getting close to that. He became more than a footballer then. He was a global phenomenon.
But it wasn't just the numbers, was it? It was how he played.
Exactly. There was this honesty, this humility. He wasn't diving, rarely argued. Just let his feet do the talking.
Which people really responded to, right? In a world of big egos.
Totally. Fans loved the skill, obviously, but they also loved that he seemed like a genuinely decent, quiet guy who was just incredibly good at football.
Okay, but while he's conquering everything with Barcelona, the story with Argentina is different, more complicated.
Yeah, very different. Those early World Cups, 2006, 2010, they ended in disappointment for Argentina. And Messi faced criticism back home.
People felt he didn't care as much or didn't perform the same way.
Some did, yeah. That age-old club versus country debate. And the narrative makes it clear that criticism really hurt him. He desperately wanted to succeed with Argentina.
His love for the country was never in doubt, though.
Never. Which made the struggles harder. Like the 2011 Copa America in Argentina, they went out in the quarters and he had booed by his own fans. That must have been brutal.
Ouch. But he kept coming back, kept leading the team.
Always. Then came the 2014 World Cup in Brazil. And he was phenomenal.
Carried them, didn't he? Right to the final.
Absolutely carried them. Brilliant individual performances. Got them to their first final since 1990.
Against Germany, that final. So close.
Agonizingly close. Lost 1-0 in extra time. He won the Golden Ball for best player, but you could see how devastated he was. The individual award meant nothing compared to the team trophy.
And the heartbreak didn't stop there.
Nope. Copa America finals in 2015 and 2016. Lost both to Chile, both on penalties.
And in 2016, he misses penalty in the shootout.
Yeah, that image of him in tears, raw emotion, and then he just dropped that bombshell announcement.
Retirement from the national team. Shocked everyone.
Completely. I'm done. He said it's over. The whole world reacted. Fans, players, the president of Argentina begged him to come back.
And eventually she did.
He couldn't stay away. Loved that blue and white shirt too much. That dream of winning something for Argentina was still alive.
Meanwhile, back at Barcelona, things are evolving, but he's the constant.
Players change, tactics shift slightly, but Messi keeps scoring, assisting, winning. Then came that famous MSN trio.
Messi, Suarez, Neymar. Wow, what an attack.
Possibly the greatest attacking trio ever assembled. They were just unstoppable. tore defenses apart across Europe.
Led them to another Champions League win in 2015, right?
Yep. Showed he could adapt, thrive alongside other megastars. His football IQ is just off the charts.
And the Ballon d'Ors kept coming. 2009, then 4 in a row, 2010-12, then 2015.
Solidified that whole Messi versus Ronaldo rivalry. They push each other constantly. There was respect there, but intense competition.
And the Barca records just kept tumbling. Most goals, most assists, most hat tricks. Legend status cemented.
Absolutely, but that one thing was still missing. That major trophy with Argentina.
Which brings us to the dream comes true. That missing piece. Despite all the club success, all the individual awards.
That international trophy gap was always there. And the near misses 2014 World Cup, 2015, 2016, Copas made it even more painful.
He kept going, though. The perseverance is incredible.
2019 Copa America, another near miss. Semifinal loss to Brazil, some controversy. He was clearly frustrated, but still committed.
Then comes the 2021 Copa America. In Brazil again, he's 34.
Huge pressure. Felt like maybe the last chance. But something felt different about the team this time. Real unity. Guys like DePaul, Martinez, they were playing for him, you felt.
And Messi himself was on fire throughout the tournament.
Goals, assists, leadership. He was the heart of the team. Celebrating every block, every tackle. You could see how much it meant.
And they reached the final against Brazil at the Maracanã, where they lost the World Cup final. The script couldn't be more dramatic.
Insane pressure. But Argentina were brave, organized. Di Maria scores that beautiful goal.
Messi didn't have his absolute best game in the final, did he?
Statistically, maybe not. But his work rate, his presence, drawing defenders, leading, it was immense. He did what the team needed.
And then the final whistle.
Pandemonium. Argentina are champions. Messi just drops to his knees, tears streaming. His teammates mob him, lift him up. Just pure, unadulterated joy and relief.
The weight lifted. For him, for the whole country.
The celebrations back in Argentina were unbelievable. Finally, he had his trophy for his country. Peace, almost.
But then another massive shock. Just weeks later, he has to leave Barcelona.
Yeah, after more than 20 years. The club's financial mess meant they just couldn't register him, even though he'd agreed to a massive pay cut.
That farewell press conference, devastating to watch.
It's heartbreaking. Tears flowing freely. Just couldn't believe it was ending like that. The stats they read out, games, goals, trophies, just staggering. End of an era, truly.
So he moves to PSG, new league, new teammates like Mbappe and Neymar again.
A massive adjustment. Took him a little while to settle. Some fans were even critical initially, but he kept working.
And then the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, he's 35. Surely his last chance at the biggest prize of all.
Everyone thought so. His 5th World Cup.
And it starts with a disaster, losing to Saudi Arabia.
Shockwaves. People wrote them off immediately. But that loss maybe galvanized them. They showed incredible resilience.
And Messi led the way. Goals against Mexico, Poland, assists, moments of magic.
He dragged them through the group, then the knockouts. Australia, that incredibly tense quarterfinal against the Netherlands with the penalties.
He was immense against Croatia in the semi, too.
Dominant. Then came the final against France. Possibly the greatest World Cup final ever.
It has to be up there. Argentina go 2-0 up, look comfortable.
Then Mbappe explodes. 2 goals in minutes. Takes it to extra time.
Messi scores again in extra time. Surely that's it.
Nope. Mbappe, penalty. 3-3. Unbelievable drama. Leads to penalties.
And this time, Argentina hold their nerve. Messi scores his penalty.
And they win. Argentina are world champions. The explosion of noise, the emotion, Messi finally lifting that trophy.
Yeah.
The one he wanted most.
The absolute pinnacle. He got the golden ball again, best player, but you could tell the World Cup itself was all that mattered.
The dream of that kid from Rosario. finally complete. He became this symbol of hope, of never giving up.
So the legacy. He's won everything. But it's more than just the titles, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's how he played, the joy he brought. Millions inspired by the journey. Humble beginnings, overcoming odds, reaching the very top.
That message of hard work, humility, never giving up.
Exactly. And he kept playing after the World Cup back at PSG.
Right.
Still showing flashes of genius, even if managing his minutes more.
Then the surprise move to Inter Miami in 2023.
Big shock. Joining MLS, David Beckham's team. Turned down huge money from Saudi Arabia, apparently.
Why Miami, do you think?
Maybe a new challenge? Growing the game in the U.S.? Maybe a bit less intense spotlight? Closer to Latin America.
And the impact was instant.
Insane. Messi mania, sold-out stadiums, crazy ticket prices, new fans everywhere. And he delivered on the pitch.
Took a struggling team and won them their first trophy, the League's Cup, almost immediately.
Yeah, scored 10 goals in that tournament, including in the final. Just unreal. Still making the difference at 36 in a new league.
It really does go beyond the numbers, though. It's the feeling he creates.
That's it. Inspiring kids told they were too small. Showing you can be the greatest without being arrogant. Kindness, respect, letting the football talk.
The poetry in motion phrase gets used a lot, but it fits.
The dribbling, the goals, pointing to the sky for Celia, moments people will never forget.
His impact everywhere is huge. Argentina, he's a god. Barcelona's still the king, statue coming. Paris added class. Miami brought belief.
His global legacy is just unmatched, really.
So what's next? Play as long as he enjoys it.
Seems like it. Enjoy the game, help younger players, family time. He's not chasing records anymore. He's playing for love of the sport.
It always comes back to that kid in Rosario, doesn't it? Playing in the street, needing the treatment, missing his grandma, dreaming big.
That's the core of it. Achieving greatness through pure talent and dedication, not demands.
The magic, the joy, the story, it's for generations. Maybe not just the GOAT, but the greatest example of talent, heart, and humility rolled into one.
Couldn't agree more.
So wrapping up this deep dive, the big takeaway really is about passion, isn't it? And perseverance, how they can just smash through obstacles.
Yeah, this whole journey from that small kid in Rosario to lifting the World Cup. It's just an incredible testament to never giving up on your dream, no matter how tough things get.
Makes you think, doesn't it? How does his kind of quiet determination connect with, your own goals, the challenges you face?
What are those napkin moments in your own life? Those little turning points, maybe unexpected, that could change everything if you just commit.
It's definitely something to think about. We hope you'll keep exploring, maybe look into specific moments from his career, or just think about the impact these icons have. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.